Hello, Breaking Brown family, your Black World family. It's Yvette Carnell. I know I haven't been on YouTube for quite some time. Some of you all missed me. Anyway, what I want to talk about today is Donald Trump. You knew it was going to take Donald Trump for me to have a conversation today. And I really am disappointed. I can't even say I'm disappointed at the reaction to what Donald Trump said because I'm really not. I really expected black people to go in on Donald Trump when he said that we're poor. Because part of the problem is that we're delusional. Like we don't believe we're poor. We can give you all type of statistics talking about how you should give black people opportunities. You should help black people. But the minute Donald Trump says you're poor, what do you have to lose? Black people had a problem. And it makes no sense. Donald Trump said black people are poor. He said your schools are failing. What do you have to lose? And that's just the truth. And I was watching MSNBC earlier this week, and I saw this woman. I don't know who she was on MSNBC. I don't know if I've seen her before. I obviously didn't remember her, but I saw her say, "Well, he's being condescending to black people, and not all black people are poor." And I'm kind of sick of hearing that because most black people are poor or in the working class. Like that's poverty. This is what happens when you don't have any inheritance. You don't have any inheritance. We don't have good schools. There was a study recently that showed most black people, the majority of the black community go to failing schools. Okay, we don't have any inheritance. We have failing schools. There are no jobs. That means that we're a part of a permanent underclass. I don't care what the girl on MSNB tells you who wears a nice weave. I don't care what she says. We're in part of a permanent underclass right now. And you don't have to trust what I'm saying to you. The only thing you have to do is look at the data. Don't look at me. Just look at the data. The median white family, not average, we're talking about median net worth is like 118,000. For black people, it's around 6,000. For black women who are single, they have on average wealth in the amount of $100. Top 5% of black people, what you're talking about right there in terms of worth, in terms of assets, is $350,000. That's nothing. Even if you look at the top 1% of black people in terms of median worth, they're at about a little over 1 million. We're talking the median for the top 1%. For white people, it's around 8 million. Okay, so you don't have to hear anything that I'm saying to know that black people are poor. You see, there was a study that came out a while ago that showed that something like 7 in 10 black people who are born into the middle class will fall below the middle class. 7 in 10. Do you understand what those numbers mean? That means that you will do worse than your black parents. 7 in 10. 7 in 10 times. The people in that community don't have a right to say, oh, we're not poor. Yes, you are. You're just in a delusion. It's just that you watched too many rap videos. You've seen the game, and I saw the game on he had a ugly red Bentley or something like that. It looked like a Bentley. It might have been it was a Bentley. It wasn't a Rolls Royce. It was a Bentley. And you've watched too much of that. I saw this little Bryson Tiller or something. He's a R&B singer. He was posing in front of like a Ferrari or something. And so we see that so much that we don't understand that most of the time these people don't even have real money. They're just telling you they have real money. And if the black people who do have real money are members of like not even the top 1%, but the 0.1%. So we shouldn't even be judging who we are and who we think we are on those people because they're not a good representation of the black community and the black community's wealth, the black community's earnings, the black community's income. So, the one thing that I wish that would just stop happening is I wish that all of these hip hop people would stop just posing in front of a car every time they got some money. It's funny, we don't see Bill Gates right now. He has more money than all of them put together. We don't see him every time he gets a new car pose in front of a car because it's just stupid. It's just what children do. So what you see with a lot of these black celebrities is that they're children in grown people's bodies. They're still bragging about their cars and the things they have. And the thing is, we know that, the bankruptcy's coming. So I don't even know why anybody cheers that on because the minute the bankruptcy comes, you say, oh my gosh, I can't believe, why did he take care of his money more? Because because you needed him to be wealthy. You needed him to put on this fake and this fraudulent thing, So That's the only reason. If it wasn't for black athletes, if it wasn't for black celebrities, we would know that black people don't have money. If it wasn't for credit, if you had to pay cash to go get a house like you have to do in third world countries, you would know that you're poor. The reason you don't know that you're poor is because you can go and get a loan. And part of the other reason we don't know that we're poor, there are a lot of white people who aren't telling the whole story. Even white people who are poor have a worth of $10,000. Even white people who are poor. So you look at that guy in the trailer park and you say, "Oh, he's messed up just like me." No, even in poverty, he's doing better than you. You have a negative worth in poverty. He still has something, according to that study that showed 202. It takes 228 years for a black person, for a black family to have the same wealth of a white family today. That's what that study showed. So I don't need Donald Trump to say that black people are poor and don't have anything to lose. I already know that we're poor. I already know like where we are. We can look at what was it, Milwaukee. Remember, look at Wisconsin. They were talking about, we just saw the riots there, right? And when you look at what happened, you saw there was another study that showed that most of these black communities, these pockets of blackness, were these were actually prisons and jails and Section 8. We have a community in collapse. And why I despise the people that go on MSNBC like Joy Reid and the people that she has on her show is because day in and day out they lie to black people. They say, "No, Donald Trump is wrong. You're doing better than that. Look at me. I'm on TV. Look at me. This woman I'm interviewing, she has a company." And they say we're doing better than that. And the truth is they're lying. And they lie to us every day. And that's why I'm so sick. I try not to personalize it, but I'm sick of Joy Reid. I'm sick of the people that she invites on her show. I'm sick of her speaking on behalf of black people. I'm sick of Charles Blow speaking on behalf of black people. I don't represent black people, and neither do these people. The data represents you, though. So what I want you to do is just get involved in the data. Everything I've said on here can be proven. Everything I've said on here, there's a data that supports it. Don't just listen to people who are lying to you. And don't just believe because you went to brunch on Sunday that you're a part of the middle class. Because what happens if you lose your job? What supports so many of these people that we see when we talk about wealth is that there are structures and institutions that support these people. There are structures and institutions that support, these white people who are doing well. There's no structure or institution that supports us. Bill Clinton gutted welfare. Bill Clinton was the one who decided to put us in jail in mass numbers, especially black men. There's nothing that supports us anymore. So for Joy Reid to go on and talk about we're not poor and that's condescending, she's a liar. And she should be called out for being, a liar. I think there was a study. There was also a study that showed that like the majority of Americans are too poor to shop. Think about that. Too poor to shop. 20%. 20%, not a majority, correct myself. 20% of Americans are too poor to shop. Now understand that we're below Americans. We're even below Latinos in terms of economics. So if 20% of all Americans is too poor to shop, that means about 50% of black people are relegated to at least to the dollar store and to Ross and to stuff like that. We're too poor to go shopping like other people go shopping. This is a community in collapse. The black community is imploding right now, and people like Joy Reid are lying to you straight-faced about what you're going through to make you feel better and feel like, well, it's not so bad. Donald Trump's just a mean guy. I have no love for Donald Trump. I'm probably not going to vote for Donald Trump. I'm not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. But that doesn't mean he's wrong. You have to be able to see outside of that kind of blind hatred for Donald Trump to see, you know what, he might have a point. Just because I'm not going to vote for him or just because I don't necessarily like his politics doesn't mean that he's wrong. He's not wrong. We are poor. We're poor and we're not moving. We're downwardly mobile. Do you understand what it means to be in the richest country in the world for like the past 400 years and still be downwardly mobile? Everybody comes in this country and just climbs to the top over your back and you're still downwardly mobile, and you're going to let Joy Reid get on TV and talk to you and lie to you like that and not call her out about it? Why? Because you get to go smoke cigars and cognac? Tell me how long you would be okay if you lost your job. If you lost your job tomorrow, those of you out there who have jobs, tell me how long you would be all right. And tell me, if you need another job, who could you call on? Do you have like a Jewish uncle? Do you have Do you have a white aunt who maybe works at HR or works somewhere where they're hiring can put a good word in? We don't have that. We don't have those kinds of people. We don't have those kinds of structures that make sure that we're okay. We're at the bottom and we're staying at the bottom. People don't understand. Like, it's not about somebody just hating you because you're black. Jim Crow didn't happen because black people were black and had nappy hair and they just didn't like us and they thought we were monkeys. No, it happened to shut us down and to shut us out of economic opportunity, and we've still been shut out. And I don't care what Joy Reid tells you with her lying self, she's wrong. She doesn't understand the numbers, or she doesn't care, because she's got hers. So, I mean, this is the person who took over after, after Melissa Harris Perry, after Melissa Harris Perry, she didn't look back. So I question a lot of her decisions. I question I question her integrity on a lot of fronts. But don't listen to her. Don't listen to these people who are just kind of, just kind of lying to us. I mean, you at a certain point, you have to take responsibility for who you listen to. The data is there. And you know what? In this YouTube video, I'm going to put links up to some of this data to let you know where it is and what I'm talking about. I'm not just going to get on here and talk like Joy Reid and all the other people that I have on MSNBC and not give you the data. The data is there. So this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, you can't listen to these people. What I'm saying is that we are poor. What I'm saying is that Donald Trump is not wrong in terms of where we are. He is not wrong in terms of what we have to lose. Whether you vote for Jill Stein, whether you vote for Donald Trump, whoever you vote for, understand that the Democratic Party hasn't really been doing anything for us. And he's right about that. That doesn't mean that he's the solution. I'm not saying that he is. But I'm saying that I don't see how you throw your hat in with Hillary Clinton. This is the person who used Haiti as her personal ATM. Bill Clinton was the person who not only decided not to go into Rwanda. This is the guy who decided that we're going to make sure that the UN doesn't go into Rwanda either. He said we're not going to do genocide anymore. But how many bodies, how many hundreds of thousands of black people died because, Bill Clinton just didn't want to do it. So I don't know how you put your vote in with the Clintons. There's nothing that you can say to me that says, yeah, I might vote for Hillary Clinton. It's never going to happen. So I think what we have to understand is that we are poor. Donald Trump is right. Bernie Sanders was right when he said it. And it's only our kind of delusion and our kind of self-esteem, which isn't based on anything, that kind of deludes us into thinking that we aren't poor. We are poor, and we have to do something about it. But we can't do anything about it until we accept the fact that we are poor. In the richest country in the world, we're the poorest, and we've been here the longest. It doesn't make sense. And so when you think about it that way, you have to decide, what are we going to do about it? Let's accept it. We are poor. Now what are we going to do? We are even those of us who have degrees, we have debt that a lot of us will never pay off. What are we going to do? We're poor. And until you pay off your debt, you're poor. If you have 30, 40, 100, and $200,000 of debt, you're poor. You don't have any money. You got $200,000 of debt on your back. So I think we have to, like I said, data matters, and we have to start following the data. We got to stop following these people on MSNBC who kind of feed us this garbage. No, data matters, and let's follow the data, and let's have this conversation. And then once you accept the data that we are poor, then we can talk about what we can do about it. Okay?